At the Women Studies Center, we work on two levels actually, gender level and national level. As a Palestinian organization, we work on national level to raise the awareness of the world about occupation. What does it mean to live under occupation, and why the international community should be with us against the occupation. So we let them hear what's going on in the Palestinian society, especially that's taking any actions that are against women and girls in the Palestinian society. The second level that we're working on, which is very important, is the social level. You know, as an Eastern country, we do have a lot of gender bias against women in the laws, in the community. So we're working to raise the awareness of the community about the importance of gender equality and how they can achieve gender equality. And we're working also lobbying at the government in order to change the legislations that are against gender equality. We do believe that we should work on the two levels together. We cannot work on gender issues without working on national issues. That's why we have always to have a balance on working against the occupation and against gender bias. Too much, actually. It affected all of our work. You can imagine that according to the political situation, sometimes we cannot go from one place to another. So we have a restriction of movement with all the checkpoints all over West Bank. We cannot go from one area to another. Of course, we can't totally go to Gaza, and that was even before the war, not now. So we are having contact with Gaza only through internet and through phone calls, but we cannot go to Gaza, and the people from Gaza, the activist women or feminist or ladies could not come to West Bank. So the situation is very difficult now, especially when there are some families like my family. My sister has a West Bank ID, and me and the other sister has Jerusalem ID. Our sister from Ramallah, she cannot visit us at all. We can only visit her, but to visit her also, it needs a lot of time. So this is the situation of most of the families. They are really making our life very difficult, so that they want us to say that we are fed off this life and leave the country for them. But this is very difficult because, in our history, this is not the first time we were forced to leave the country. And people who left the country in 1948, most of them are still in refugee camps and are suffering actually either in Lebanon, in Jordan, in Syria, in the refugee camps, even in the West Bank. For problems in West Bank, a lot of people who are killed or injured, people who left their houses. Of course, the world, they don't hear about them a lot because what's happening in Gaza is much more, and the people are concentrating with Gaza, and they don't know exactly that even in Palestine, in West Bank, we are suffering. The settlers in West Bank are also very active to make the people leave the country. I'm proud to say that first of all, we've been able to raise the awareness of girls and women about the importance of continuing their education, of going to the market, work, not to be only mothers. We've been able actually to open a lot of economic projects for women to work in these projects. We've been able to change some legislations, like, for example, raising the age of marriage for girls. It was 16. After we had a campaign to raise the age of marriage, because for 16 she's still a child and it's not healthy, etc. We raised the age of marriage to 18.